I don't have anything exciting to introduce myself with, really. Hi, I'm Kat Willer. I am a middle school band director in Cedar Park, Texas at Henry Middle School. I am the second director there, and I am in my second year of teaching. I'm going to do that again because I paused weirdly. Too much
Welcome to Sketchbook Podcast.
No!
A discussion about creativity, preparation, and effort with artists, creators, and educators. As always, I'm your host, Daniel Montoya Jr. Katherine, may I call you Katherine?
I suppose you may.
I would like you to trace the development of your name because I was under the impression your name was Katherine and you just introduced yourself as Kat.
I actually, my name progression has kind of come from a long lineage. Whenever I was in kindergarten, I actually...
We're going very far back, aren't we?
It's important. It's part of my story.
Okay.
I actually went by Katie, which I think my mom actually named me Katherine because she wanted to call me Katie, if I remember correctly.
Katie Willer.
Katie Willer.
Oh.
Katie Marie.
Oh my God.
And so all through kindergarten, I guess, or all the way up till kindergarten, I went by Katie. And then at the end of kindergarten, I graduated and I decided that I was a grown up and I wanted to go by Katherine at that point in my life.
At 5 years old?
Yes.
Oh, an old soul.
Yes.
All right.
And so I went by Katherine all the way, I guess, probably through most of high school and college, I think.
Oh.
And, you know, there were always a few people that kind of like called me Kat just because like it's easier and Katherine is a mouthful. But I guess I think you like to claim that you started calling me Kat. I don't remember where, but
I think I've always called you Kat ever since you joined an illustrious fraternity of young female music educators.
Yes. You introduced me as Kat on whenever I was announced as the Booth Toya girl for the Midwest 2016 season.
We'll say
I don't
that.
know, whatever.
Okay, that works. But that's your Instagram handle.
Yes.
Which is why I've always called you Kat. So it was weird for me to hear that you actually went by Katherine. And when you came to Austin, you assumed this new identity.
I did. Once I graduated college, I kind of got tired of saying the full Katherine.
Katherine Marie Willer.
Yes, it's a long name, and
It is.
It takes a long time to type. So I'd always just made my Instagram and social media things Kat because no one wants to spell Katherine.
So it's my fault. We'll say it is.
I'll let you think that.
Some people say it's my fault.
Okay.
Speaking of my fault, why did both of your parents vote me off the sneaker showdown on YouTube, round 1? Because as of this recording session, we have not recorded round 2, and it looks like, spoiler alert, you will be advancing to round 2. They literally had 4 other choices, and yet they both chose to vote me off.
Well, I will say my mom has always hated black shoes. Like she really has. Like anytime we would go look for tennis shoes when I was growing up, like black shoes were not on the menu. I honestly am not a huge. I would probably say yours was my least favorite too, if we're being honest. Because I'm not a huge fan of like black soles. And then the black, like if it had been like the black upper with the white sole, I probably would have been more of a fan, but I'm just not a huge fan.
Oh, I see. But you did you instruct them to vote
not.
me out? Oh, so they did it on their own, huh?
They actually called me because they couldn't figure out how to get it to how to find the comment. Well, because it's not super easy to find.
You scroll down.
I know, but like whenever you find it on YouTube on your phone, you like
your phone,
it doesn't immediately like.
Right.
You know, you're like, oh, look, there's some ads. Where do I comment? And then if you don't like scroll all the way down to see the comments. But
now, did they create YouTube usernames just for the purposes of voting me off the sneaker showdown?
They did not.
That
would have been better, though.
Would it have?
Yes.
Oh, my God. Well, you did say, was it on the video? Yes, you said on the video that they blame me for your shoe obsession.
Yes, and I would blame you for that as well.
Oh, so basically I'm 2 for 2 in blame.
Yes.
That's great. Now, Katherine, or Katerina, to other countries, where were you born? What city were you born in?
I was born in Houston, Texas.
Oh, my data is off. You were born in the city of Houston, Texas, correct?
I mean, I don't know the exact city I was born. Do
you know the hospital you were born in?
No, I don't remember.
Okay, so you're just going to say
it was a long time ago.
It doesn't matter. It's Houston. Okay, you claim that you lived in the greater Austin area when you were a youngster?
I did. Well, yes.
Okay, so when was this and where was it?
I lived in Cedar Park for about...
Okay, hold on. Somebody pointed out to me that you say Cedar Park wrong. Like you say it like the way Chris Yee says it.
No, I don't.
Say it again.
Cedar Park?
Okay, but I don't think you said that right, because on the sneaker shoe down video, apparently you said Cedar Park. This is according to a longtime podcast listener, Eric Cosman. Mm-hmm. He's got good ears. He said you said Cedar Park incorrectly on the sneaker shoe down video. But anyway, I digress. It's Cedar Park. But
maybe
anyway.
Chris Yee has infected me.
Oh boy, wouldn't be the first time Chris Yee infects people. That is not a comment on the COVID-19. All right, he is part Asian. Please do not send your letters to me thinking that that's what this was about. So apologies, Chrissy. Kat Willer, you said you were in the greater Cedar Park area?
Yes.
From what ages?
It was, I went to kindergarten through second grade here, and I think we lived there like a year before that as well.
Both Katie and Catherine and Kat when you lived in the greater Austin area.
Yes, that is true.
All right. So after Austin, you moved back to the Houston area?
Yes.
And that's where you were until you came back here?
Yes.
So you've only lived in the greater Houston, greater Austin area?
Yes, that is correct.
Where did you attend high school in the greater Houston area?
I went to Klein Oak High School, which is in North Houston, in Spring, Texas.
Ah, yes. What's
kind of
their
near the Woodlands?
What's their mascot at the Klein Oaks?
They are the Panthers.
The Panthers doesn't make any sense. It should be like the Klein Oak Acorns. No?
No.
Now, you are a special guest. Special, people can say it in parentheses or quotations. I'll say italicized special. I knew you. The first time we met, you were in my sassy team in the summer of 2014. Oh my God. No way.
13.
13? Really?
Yeah. Because I graduated in 14.
Yeah, that would make sense. 2013, you were in my sassy team. Were you going by Catherine at the time?
Yes.
And I love a number of stories from this. There's 3 of them we're going to tell. Number 1, you said I look like Robert Downey Jr.
You did.
Because I said I was Batman, right? Or something?
Yeah, because you said something about how you learned, I don't know if you used to be shy or something like that.
No. Because my nickname in college, I then embraced it and used that, much like Batman took the fear of bats. So yes. Yeah. So then you said, I have it on video. It's saved through time hops. Did I ever tell you?
Wasn't that when Vine was a thing?
Vine, dude, I was all about Vine that year.
I think that's when it got popular because you were trying to make it a thing.
Well, I'm like an OG social media influencer. So, okay. So that's number 1. Number 2, I apparently said something very insulting to you. You had a certain look, and I said that you reminded me of what a color guard girl would look like, and apparently you were very insulted by that.
I mean, I don't know if insulted. Well, and I don't want this to come off the wrong way because this is going to make me sound really bad.
Well, then edit it however you'd like, Catherine.
There was just kind of a stereotype for color guard girls where I went to school, and it wasn't a super positive one, I guess, or one that...
Well, my comment had to do with your presentation, because this is a drum major camp, and the ones who doll themselves up are typically the color guard girls when they do that. So you came in a lot of ways dolled up, you had your makeup and your hair and everything was done, and so I was like, you look like you're the color guard captain. You were not. You were a drum major. This is the other story about that summer. Y'all neglected a poor little freshman.
No. Oh my gosh. No, he did not.
What you want to clarify once and for all? You have to talk. Make sure that you're looking at the screen when you talk to me,
yes.
Please.
So what happened was we showed up to drum major camp.
There were 4 of you, right?
There were 4 of us. And we checked in at the check-in table, and they were like, "Oh, who's this person? They're also from Klein Oak High School." And I was like, "What?" There are 4 of us. And they're like, "Oh, it says that her name is blah, 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 and she's a freshman." And we were like, "What?" And so we come to find out that this girl had contacted our band director saying that, she was interested in being a drum major someday. And he said, "Oh, well, maybe you should check out this sassy camp. It'd be a good thing to see what, you need to be, what you need to know if you want to be a drum major someday." And so she showed up to the camp, and we were very surprised. And, we were like, oh, well, we didn't know you were going to be here, but like, we're excited to have you here. Like, good high school drum majors would do and whatnot. And I guess we kind of had like, we were already pretty close. And so we had our inside jokes and whatnot and all that kind of stuff. So I think she kind of felt a little bit left out, and I don't know exactly what she expected, but she told Jeremy on us. And we were like, we asked her to be in our group, and she said she wanted to be in this other conducting group, and blah, blah, blah. And so it was just a lot of confusion.
So that was your first impression with Jeremy Spicer.
I guess so,
summer.
yeah.
Yes. And first impression with me.
Yes.
Yes, you're a color guard girl. Now, after Klein Oak High School,
yes,
you attended a university. Now, before we talk about this university, I have to ask you a few questions. Number one, where did your father go to college?
He went to the Texas A&M.
Sure. Where did your mother go to college?
The same place.
Where does your sister, Madeline, go to college?
The same place.
So keep in mind, we're in Austin, and I did attend Big Brother University, the flagship university of the state of Texas. So I know the answer to this. Why didn't you go to A&M?
I didn't go to A&M because they didn't have a music program.
At the time, right.
A music.
They have one now?
They have
a building now.
I think they actually have a music performance.
I think they have a band.
But they don't. They have like a performing
It's just not a
ensemble,
degree.
but they do not have a music education degree.
If they had a music ed degree, would you have gone to Little Brother University?
I might have considered it.
Oh, wow. Now,
I've
would you have
been
joined the Corps?
indoctrinated from a... No.
You would have had to shave your head, right?
I think that's
Tell me
how
about
it works.
Reveille. How many times has Reveille been to your house? The ghost of Reveille.
None. No. We're not lucky enough.
How many maroon carrots did you eat when you grew up?
0.
Really? You ate carrots the way they were meant to be, orange? Cool. So the university you ended up going to was Cougar High in Houston, Texas.
Yes.
For a music education degree, correct?
Yes.
What is your natural instrument?
Flute.
A flute. You play a flute. Did you ever play a piccolo?
I did
All right. How many years did you do the Cougar marching band?
I did it all 4 years that I was at the University of Houston.
So wait, you graduated in 4 years?
Yes, sir.
Holy smokes. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so how many years were you drum major at Oak?
1 year.
How many years drum major at U of H?
1 year.
1 year. Awesome. And then when you were at the H, who were the football coaches when you were there for 4 years?
I don't remember who it was that was there before Tom Herman, because
It wasn't it Stumblin' Sumlin?
Was it? I don't know.
It was
I
Kevin
guess.
Sumlin.
Okay.
Then you went to Little Brother University.
Oh, yes.
Yes,
okay.
that's right.
Yeah, I remember that now.
Something
remember
about coaches
that burn.
leaving U of H to go to Big 12 SEC schools.
Yeah, we're just not worth very much, apparently.
Hey, it's the H-Town takeover. You're just taking over
It
different
was really
cities.
great while it lasted.
My favorite tweet from you of all time is the day I think Tom Herman announced he was leaving. And I hear it in my head the way you posted it. Whatever happened to true will ever be, which that's the motto of University of Houston, right? True will ever be.
It's more of a Spirit of Houston thing.
Oh, it's not a U of H thing?
It's part of the alma mater. The last line is true will ever be.
Will ever be.
No.
Something like that?
Well, sure.
Sorry, it's U of H. True will ever be. Boom, boom. Something like that?
No.
Hey, can we talk about the Cougars?
We're talking about the Cougars right now.
So what's the name of that song in real life? Not Womp Womp. I know y'all call it Womp Womp, right?
We call it Womp Womp. I don't know
But what's the like rap song it's based off of?
I have no idea.
Jamie Kohler, Corey Mills, somebody out there, tell me. And the written words are, hey, we are talking about the Cougars, right?
Yeah.
But
obviously.
Ogechi says something different, doesn't she?
Does she?
I don't know. Ogechi could write in and tell us if she is talking about the Cougars or not. So
Are
you shouldn't
talking
go look
about
this up.
Expletives?
It's not safe for work. Is it? That's y'all's neck, right? Basically.
Yes.
I see.
Yeah. Well, it actually, the Womp Womp got taken away for a while because certain expletives kept being heard on TV and things like that.
Because the words are, hey, we're talking about the Cougars, right?
Yes.
About the Cougars. But the words have been changed to a
mother
multi-syllabic.
something Cougars.
A mother grabbing?
Sure.
Or in the words of The Good Place, a mother forking, right?
Sure, yes.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, so so when you were there, they took it away?
That was before I got there. I think it actually came back like right before I got there.
So you brought Womp Womp back to U of H?
Yes. Well, there were actually posters that were like all over campus. It'd be like, save Womp Womp. it's like the lyrics are blah, blah, blah. And so people were trying to bring it back.
Do you have a shirt that says Save Womp Womp?
I do not.
Oh.
It was already saved when I got there.
It was already saved. You brought it back. Just like Ryan Gosling saving jazz in La La Land, you saved Womp Womp in U of H.
I guess you could say that.
Another white savior. Golly. All right, so you did 4 years. Now, there's another tweet. I can do my research, Catherine. And I don't know that you still have it up there because you rarely tweet anymore.
I do not.
It was a picture of you with some fine posture holding a flute. And I believe the post said, this picture literally got me a job.
It did.
Can you explain that?
I believe that it was seen by... Who actually saw it? I don't remember what job it might have been. Actually,
I thought it was Dawson, right?
Was it Dawson?
Or was it Albie? Albie at Oak.
I was thinking of Albert, but I don't know what job
Vela,
that would have gotten me.
Did he want to hire you as a tech at Oak Ridge, but you were already at Dawson?
I think he did. Yeah, I think that's what it was. Because I teched at Dawson High School while I was in college.
In the P.
The dirty P.
God, we're going to edit that out. We will not be editing that out. We already said Forkin.
Yeah, I think that I had been asked to come tech at another school because of that photo.
And joke's on Albert because you student taught at Oak Ridge.
Yes.
Who were the band directors at Oak Ridge when you went there?
The band directors at Oak Ridge were Dana Proterbond, Albert Vela,
yes,
Gerald Dillard,
yes,
and that's it.
And that's it. Okay. All right, cool. Yeah, that's great. So you did that. Now, you come from a school, the University of Houston, that is renowned for its pedagogy, its techniques, etc. And they're used all over the country, probably the world, right? That kind of thing. Never more centralized than in the greater Houston area. So coming from Klein Oak, coming from U of H, student teaching at Oak Ridge, which would you consider them to be what the kids call a green school, a greenie?
Yes.
Okay. And we'll go more into detail, but what city or surrounding area do you actually teach in?
I teach in Cedar Park.
Which is outside of?
Austin.
Which is not typically considered to be a greeny type of area, right?
Not particularly.
I see. When you interviewed for jobs, and if you don't want to talk about how many jobs you interviewed for, because apparently you have a 100% job offer rate, how many of the schools were in the greater Houston area?
I actually interviewed... Most of the schools I interviewed for were in Houston, but I knew from like the time I started interviewing that Henry Middle School was like I had my eyes on that, and that was what I wanted. But I knew that was kind of, or I felt like it was kind of a long shot because it was Henry Middle School, and I didn't feel or know that I would be worthy of that or
the greatest
or
middle school program in the world.
Yes.
No offense to anybody else out there. Let me just preface that. If you're listening and you're like, my middle school's good too, it's like, yes, it is. But let's go listen to Tritico or something. Yeah. This is pre-Katherine Willer. No offense.
No, I have not done anything to do that yet. So.
What do you own this podcast for if you haven't done anything, Kat?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. I'm sure people listening go, exactly. I've done just as much as Katherine Willer and Kendall Stevenson and Zach Santos. Jeez. Okay, so we'll talk more about Honorary Middle School in a little bit. Okay.
And I would also like to say that I did get one job rejection. It was the first one I interviewed for.
Can you say it or not? You don't want to say it?
I believe it was for Irons Junior High in Conroe.
So I thought you had 100% like, oh, geez. How'd that feel? That suck?
It was actually, that was one of my, like the biggest moments of learning for me. It was really cool because it was actually one of the middle schools that feeds Oak Ridge. So Dana was in that interview.
Oh.
And so my very first interview had my cooperating teacher as one of the, interviewers.
Yeah.
And so afterwards she met me at a Starbucks and like we talked about the interview and she's like, so how did it go? And I was like, I don't know anything. So yeah, it was actually really cool like that got to be my first interview. So I learned a lot. After that, I changed how I interviewed considerably.
Oh, I see. Well, that's good.
Yes.
That obviously worked.
Yes.
So basically after that, you had 100% success rate. Oh, humble brag to everyone out there. Yeah. Yeah. So I guess you ended up where you needed to end up, right?
I did. Exactly where I wanted to be.
Oh, put that on your tombstone. Exactly where she wanted to be. Now, further detailing our relationship. We have a weird relationship. Mentor, peer, colleague, boss.
Bad influence.
Only 2 people would say that. It only gets 1 vote because it's from the same family. Shoe inspiration. We'll go with that. Yeah. So you were on my sassy team. You were one of the selected few to be. I was thinking about this morning because I knew that we were going to be interviewing. Do you think that I could do Booth Toyo Girls anymore in this day and age, or is that over?
I mean,
because you have always had a different outlook on the role of the Booth Toyo Girl. And for those of you that don't understand what this is, I used to have a booth at Midwest, and because I'd have concerts and meetings, I wanted to leave the booth, and I wanted to just like leave the booth because it gets to be a real grind. And so I wanted to have people to work at the booth, so I would call on my female friends. And there was a number of qualifications. Number 1, they had to be social. So they had to be able to talk. And number 2, they should be music educators or music based because it's a music clinic and conference. And yes, they needed to be presentable. Let's go with presentable. That's a good way to put it. It has been degraded by calling them booth babes. How dare someone say that? I've never uttered those words. And Booth Toya is merely just a portmanteau of Booth and Montoya. So portmanteau. Thank you. So I think it would be. It just depends, right? Like I probably should put another like a guy in there at some point.
I think you should probably start mixing it up a little bit.
Well, the problem is, number 1, I don't want to do a booth again, and number 2, I don't have very pretty guys friends out there.
Well,
I mean, no offense to all my guy friends that are listening. Like, hey, man. I mean, I saw you on Zoom last night and other times. Y'all are not shaving your faces right now or taking care of yourself. Let's be real.
Maybe you could help dress them, and that would...
Oh, God. Every time I try and do that, they go, that's too loud. That's too much. I don't want my hem to be that high. It's like, Jeremy, just listen to me.
Maybe I think if you put a call out, you would find the right people for it.
Well, I don't want to do a booth anyway. But okay. So you were were you the last team? No. Corey and the return of Megan?
Yes.
That's right.
Megs.
That's right. And then after that, you joined the sassy team, the sassy drum major team. Yeah. You just completed your first summer last year?
Yes.
Are you the only one or one of the few that was a student of Sassy and now is an instructor?
I think I'm one of the few. I don't think that I'm the only one. I'm trying to remember who else there was.
I think Caitlin Wolf probably.
Yeah, that was who was coming to my mind. I don't know if that's the only person.
Not sure. Don't know. It doesn't matter. I'm surprised you don't have this written down.
I don't like to keep statistics. It's like I was the first one.
You're pretty nerdy though.
I mean,
of all my band director friends, you are one of the nerdiest when it comes to band directing.
Why?
I don't know. You tell me. You're the nerd.
What makes me nerdy?
Oh my God. You read a lot of books about it and in leadership and band directing. You went to you go to band camps over the summer. Like I realize that's probably just like extended professional development, right? But
got to get good.
Oh my God. Yeah. So speaking of, let's see other things that you've been involved with. You were a tour staff / vocal coach for the Guardians Drum and or Bugle Corps.
That is a true statement.
It is. It is. So you're originally hired just to be a tour staff, right?
Yeah. I was supposed to be like a tour assistant or whatever. Yeah, so I did that a lot. There was one point where I actually, as a tour assistant, one of the duties was to go to the grocery store for the food truck.
I love this story.
And so Teresa, who was in charge of the food truck at Guardians, would write the list, on a piece of paper and hand it to us, and we'd go to the grocery store in Angleton, Texas.
Angletown, yes, where the heart is.
Yes, and so we would go to the Walmart, and while at this Walmart, I read the list, and I thought it said 60 Eggos, or like 60 dozen Eggos, or something like that, and which it made sense to me, because I was like, well, this is drum corps, like, we needed lots of food, and kids like Eggos, so I was like, okay, this makes sense. So I, get back to the truck, and she's like, why do you have Eggos? And I was like, oh no. and she's like, I needed 60 dozen eggs. So I had to go return 60 dozen Eggos to Walmart.
A different type of womp right there.
Yeah.
Womp. Wow. Yeah, great. It's any wonder they pulled you off of tour staff to make you do the vocal coaching, right? Were you ever in the choir? I don't remember how this happened. Did I just go, Kat, have you ever sung? And you're like, yeah, great.
Yeah, I mean, whenever I was in like elementary school, you did like the fifth grade choir and whatever. I actually had a solo when I was in fifth grade.
Oh, God.
We sang High School Musical. I was Gabriella.
Who was your Danny Zuko? Obviously, I don't know this guy's name.
I don't remember.
I'm not going to pretend I haven't seen High School Musical because I have. I just don't remember. Troy Bolton.
Yes.
That's right, because the T stands for Troy, right?
I guess.
There's all those memes where he's putting that, but it's like Ted Bundy because he's Ted Bundy in the Netflix series or whatever. No?
Sure.
Or HBO. All right. Anyway, continue, Gabriella. Were you all in this together? All in this.
Yeah, I think that's the one that we sang. Yeah.
The choreography and everything?
There was no choreography.
In the movie, I'm pretty certain there was choreography.
Well, yes, but not in our elementary school musical.
Right? So choir.
So I did that, in like elementary school, and then I went to middle school, and of course you have to kind of choose what you're going to do. I did band, of course, and I actually did all the athletics that were offered at that.
You're an athlete?
I was.
Wait. I heard you wrong. Mathlete.
No.
Wait, an athlete?
Yeah.
Are you a baller?
I mean, a little bit.
Wait. Like the basketball?
I did basketball.
Why didn't we ever have you and Alicia Villanueva go one-on-one? Because she's also a baller.
I'm not sure.
She played high school ball.
I was on staff, on admin staff. I would play basketball with the brass staff.
I'm pretty sure I saw you miss every shot you took.
I am not a current baller.
Okay. Did you play volleyball?
I did volleyball.
You look like you would be a volleyball player. Lacrosse, because it's a white
do
woman's
lacrosse.
sport.
That was not offered at my middle school.
Middle school, but that's your high school, I'm sure, right?
I guess so.
Did you play soccer?
No, no.
Oh, okay.
Not
softball?
Good, but I did play softball.
Oh
I actually played softball on like a whatever those teams are called, the
Club.
Select or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was always my dream to be a pitcher, and so.
There's a famous UT graduate, Kat.
Huh.
Yeah, Kat Osterman.
Good to know.
Except it's spelled C-A-T. Hook 'em horns.
Yeah. So I always wanted to be a pitcher, and one day that dream came true.
What?
And my coach was warming me up to pitch, and he would always yell at me because I would never get my glove up and cover my face.
Oh my God, I love where this story is going to go. Please tell me it goes exactly where I want it to go.
So, he would always peg the ball at my face to try and get me to get my glove up. And, I would try my best. And sometimes, it didn't happen. And one time it didn't happen, and I got pegged in the face.
Where'd it hit you as I stared at your face?
Right in the cheekbone.
In the cheekbone?
So I was sitting in the dugout after the game, and my mom came and she was like, hey, good job. And then she was like, oh my gosh.
She obviously didn't watch the game, right?
Well, I don't, or you just don't notice these things. Cause I was like, I'm not going to be a baby. I'm going to play through this game. Even though I had a gumball looking in my, in my cheek. And so she came up afterwards and, she's like, are you chewing a gumball? And I was like, no, what? And I just had a really black eye and whatever. And so after that, my dad made me quit, but.
Oh, you couldn't just move you to the outfield?
Yeah.
So it was over.
Yeah, it was over. That was the end of my career.
Oh, you could have been a world famous female softball player. I can name one, Kat Osterman, UT. So choir. So one day I feel like I just called you and said, Kat, can you teach the choir? Yeah.
Well, and I joined the choir at U of H because Dr. Weber was someone that
Cougar Voices.
I don't remember what the actual official
name is. It seems like everything's
for.
Cougar something.
No, it was not Cougar something. I respected her a lot. And I actually, because she had a lot of really cool techniques for, teaching techniques that I wanted to try and steal for band.
Bumblebee, that kind of stuff?
Sure.
Oh.
And so I wanted to steal that stuff, so I joined it. And so I said, well, I'm in choir at U of H. And you're like, okay, you're going to teach the vocalists. And that was that.
Good for you.
Yes.
Good for you. You also then taught the mellophones at the Genesis Drum and or Bugle Corps out of the greater Bastrop, Austin, Texas area. That's right. I said it. They don't rehearse in Austin. They rehearse in Bastrop. How was that?
It was a lot of fun. It was really cool. I've always wanted to be part of drum corps. And as a flute player, I never really took the chance to, go learn a brass instrument.
What instrument does Linda Harvey play?
Flute.
Kendall Stevenson.
They conducted Daniel.
Why didn't you drop for drum major for drum corps? I did. This has turned into a sketchbook ASMR video. That's right. You did try out for the Crossman.
I did.
It was their loss.
Well.
Did you advance to the final round?
No, I didn't actually.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
That's okay.
Okay. So Genesis, so you taught mellow.
Yes. It was a lot of fun. I worked with Andy Grindle was the brass caption head.
Andrew Grindle.
Yeah.
Madison Scout alum.
Yes.
Yes.
We work at Madison together now.
Wait, you jumped ahead.
Sorry.
Oh, God.
But yeah, I taught mellows. I was like the only mellow tech for a pretty good amount of the season. And then I got joined by Tristan Rivera, and we had a pretty awesome rest of the season.
Tristan Blue
Yes.
Rivera.
Yes.
Yes, as he is known on the internet, from my understanding. And then, well, you did camp, so that counts. And you're doing Mad U. You are on the brass staff for the Madison Scouts Drum and/or Bugle Corps, correct?
Yes.
Are you teaching mellows also?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Yeah, how's that going?
It's been really good. Yesterday we had our first lessons of Mad U. And so that was a lot of fun. It was good to like teach some older kids too. It's fun to, do a little bit more advanced stuff sometimes too.
So, Madison, they're 17th place. That's where they're at. Genesis was 19th, 20. Do you remember?
I don't remember.
They're kind of in the same neighborhoods. But Madison obviously has been around for 83 years. So there's a different persona and different kind of pool that the Madison Scouts kind of pull from. So what are some of the things that you noticed differences-wise in what you were able to do or what the kids were able to do out of Madison versus maybe what you observed and taught at Genesis and possibly the Guardians back in the day?
As far as differences, I did notice I was kind of surprised because I went into the first Madison camp and I was like, oh, well, it'll probably be about the same level of talent that comes in because they ended up in about the same place as Genesis did. But I really was kind of shocked by some of the quality that came in at the auditions. I listened to all the mellow auditions and all that kind of stuff. And I was pretty surprised and pleasantly surprised by some of the people that were showing up to audition. It was cool.
Now, Ross Gordon, brass caption head, is a former marching member of your favorite drum corps. Just for everybody out there, who's your favorite drum corps?
Huh? Oh, Carolina Crown.
The Carolina Crown, yes. And what's your favorite band show they've done?
I really, really like Inferno a lot.
That was the best BOA show that year. Yeah.
Well, say what you will.
I did, and the judges did too.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, so that covers drum corps, right?
Yeah,
you want to say anything else with drum corps?
No.
All right, let's get serious.
Okay.
Let's talk about food.
Okay.
All right, now, those of us that follow you on the gram, you are not eating poorly as of late, but let's talk about bad eating habits. Let's talk about favorite tacos. Now, you've lived in Houston and you've lived in the greater Austin area, so you have a wide range of food you can choose from. So what's your favorite taco, breakfast, lunch, or dinner?
My favorite taco currently is probably Taco Deli. And I've been listening to your podcast.
Thank you. You should be. I forgot to mention another thing you do, but we'll get to that in a second.
Okay.
You're my biggest fan, I think.
No.
No.
We actually went and tried Veracruz.
I saw that
the other day because we were like,
Robert.
well, yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, we wanted to see what it was about because we enjoy tacos a good amount. So we went to Veracruz and I liked that. It was good, but I still like Taco Deli better, I think.
Taco Deli's the bomb.
Yeah, it's really good. Those are the first two that pop into mind. I have gone to some of the nicer taco joints, I guess, in Austin.
Taco Deli's not nice. Veracruz isn't nice.
They're nice.
Upscale, bougie.
Yeah,
you can say bougie.
Bougie, I guess. Is the right word.
Yes.
Have you ever been to Suerte before?
Not yet.
It's really good.
I'm sure.
I really liked Suerte. They had good tacos. They make their tortillas from scratch. And
I bet they do.
Delicious.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you say favorite, it's usually just one answer.
I guess.
Do you have a favorite burger?
My favorite is currently Freddy's.
Those are steak burgers, butter burgers. Those are good.
Yeah.
Albert
the
Vela
fries help
introduced
win
me
it
to
too.
Really?
Yeah, I'm a really big fan of shoestring fries.
Oh.
So
really, your whole favorite thing of shoes isn't really from me. It always was in you. Shoes, shoestrings. I just kind of ignited it. It was always there.
That was a sassy curriculum, I think.
Yeah, sure. I said catalyst. Okay. Did I say catalyst?
No, you said ignited.
Oh, crap. I meant to say catalyst. So Freddy's. All right. Favorite barbecue?
Franklin's.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you. That's a good answer. Do you eat fried chicken? I don't know. You don't look like you eat fried chicken.
Not a ton.
So you don't have a favorite fried chicken place?
I know you're gonna. Favorite. Are you gonna say
Church's?
No, my favorite.
I was like, what are you, a 70-year-old white woman?
No. when I was in college, I was in a part of Cougar Brass, which is misleading because it's not just brass; it's
basketball,
but it's a basketball band. And so at any game that we scored over 70, I think you get like a buy one get one box at Canes. Ugh. So after any game that we got over 70,
of course.
And they were pretty good whenever we were there. So
basketball,
yeah.
Kevin Sampson, right?
Yeah.
I will say, when you're in college and anything is free or discounted, you got to go with it. So I will give you a pass on that. But you're an adult female now.
But Canes is good. I don't care.
Without the sauce?
No. But Daniel,
Catherine.
I'm not going to that restaurant to eat the chicken dry.
No, if you have, it's like a steak. If you have to put A1 or ketchup on it, it wasn't a good steak.
They know that their chicken isn't quite up to par, so they have the sauce. So it
just buy the sauce and go to somewhere else then.
No, it wouldn't work.
Sorry. Ever been to Babe's Chicken House?
No.
In Dallas?
No.
The bomb. Thebomb.com. Favorite wings?
Pluckers.
Yeah, that's easy. Now, this is an adult podcast. What's your drink of choice? Your liquor or wine or whatever?
I mean, I enjoy wine a lot.
So red, white.
Red wine for sure.
Oh, do you have a favorite type of wine?
I usually like Cab Savs.
All right. Do you have a favorite brand? There's a Montoya Cabernet Sauvignon out there. It's like the best. I didn't make it, but I drink it because it has my name on it.
I mean, we actually are members or whatever. I put that in quotation marks at at Flat Creek Estate Winery, which is
sounds rich.
Up in wherever that is. I can't remember.
Bougie.
Lago Vista, near Lago Vista.
Oh, yeah.
And so they have this wine called the Super Texan that I love.
It comes with a gun and a cowboy hat.
No, but I really like that a lot. So we went and picked up a box of that at the beginning of this.
Now, when you say a box, do you mean like a box of wine or a crate with a bunch of bottles?
Like a crate.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you were like, oh, we're team box wine.
No, we did start the quarantine with box wine because it's more efficient. But
is it?
It is.
Yeah, I wouldn't know. I'm not a big wine drinker. Iced tea, sweet or unsweet?
Unsweet with 2 sweet and lows.
You're not worried about cancer.
I want to live a good life, not a long life.
How do you take your coffee?
Black.
Nothing else?
Nothing.
Till the bitter end, huh?
Like my men. I don't know. Airplane.
No, we weren't. Yes, no, I get your joke.
Okay.
You're the only one that's. How do you wait? What do you? You're 29 years old, right?
No.
How old are you?
I am 24.
Oh, this is episode 29. Pardon me.
So. Ooh.
Oh, what? No, I'm just. No, it's just that you're too young to get that reference, but the airplane reference. But good for you.
Who hasn't seen Airplane?
I'm sure there's a lot of people your age who has not seen Airplane. Who showed you Airplane? Mom or dad?
I mean, my family has a very long history of rewatching movies. It's probably one of my dad's favorites, I think.
I like that.
So right. I don't know. There are a lot of movies that are.
I like that movie too. So when you vote for round 2, you don't have to vote me out. I like Airplane. You know what else I like? 80s music. Yeah. So just for anybody out there that's going to vote in round 2.
Because of your age?
I could have been born in 89.
Okay.
I could have been.
Okay.
Oh, God. Katherine, do you like the professional sports?
Not a ton.
Oh, okay. So, favorite women's softball team or?
No. I mean, if I'm going to watch sports, it's usually because, the team that I like is doing well. And that's basically whenever the Astros start doing well.
The cheaters? The asterisks?
Well, yeah.
Wow.
See, and, the sad thing is, I know people have been saying, they're like, something bad happened with the Astros, but I have no idea what it is.
Gotcha. Okay. You just know something. Yeah. You probably I know there's a virus going on, but
no.
I hear it's no worse than the flu.
No, if it has something to do with sports, I'm like, yeah, I heard that happened, but I did not read about it or try to find anything out about it because I don't care that much.
So a true Houston sports fan, you are not ever.
Not really. I'm not a huge professional sports fan.
That's fine. You work with the #1 rated, I'm saying so, marching arts fashion brand, General Effect.
I do.
Restricted. What's your role there?
I am the social media manager / consultant.
Oh, I don't remember.
I guess,
I don't remember
right?
bestowing you that title. I think I just said run like the Gram or something. I mean,
Yeah, I guess I don't have an official title because I don't get paid for it. So
hold on now. Hold on now. Are you not one of the people that is on the seed list?
I do. I get free clothes.
You sure do. Like you are one of like maybe 3 females that gets free clothes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I get the one-offs. I have a few that none of you have ever seen before.
That's true. That's true. Some of them for good reason.
Yeah.
You know, hey, we try some stuff out. Now, before we go on, I would be remiss if I didn't ask you the hottest questions in the percussion world. Traditional or match grip?
Match?
Nope. Finale or Sibelius?
Finale.
Correct. Favorite sticks or mallets?
I don't know. What?
What I mean,
What's
these
the
are very
brand? I just lost. They left my mind.
Just say innovative percussion.
Innovative percussion.
Favorite cymbals?
Zildjian.
That'll work. Yamaha, Pearl, etc.
Yamaha.
That'll work as well. Are the drums just too loud?
Sometimes.
Are the electronics just too loud?
Sometimes.
These are your answers are like you're so misinformed in the world of percussion, Kat.
We have Hector Heel, the leading. I don't know.
The leading
percussion instructor in the state of Texas.
Wow. Oh my God. Are you hearing that? Joe Hobbs? Are you hearing that? Richard Rodriguez? Are you hearing that? Anybody else?
Hector's a pretty cool guy.
Oh, so he went from the leading percussion educator in the state of Texas.
He
to
is.
just
He's
being
really
a cool guy.
well. He's a really cool guy, and he's really smart, and he like takes really good care of us. So
Enough for that you don't know the names of sticks or mallets or things.
I have never had to purchase sticks in my entire life.
Not even for percussion methods. Did you even take that class at Cougar High?
I did take that. I'm trying to remember how I had my sticks. I think I actually
Let me
the
guess.
one pair of sticks.
Your boyfriend gave you a pair of sticks.
No, the one pair of sticks that I own, I bought whenever I went to the Midwest Clinic my freshman year of college because my sister had gotten in. I'd recorded for it and got in and didn't get to perform. Sad.
Oh, so you recorded. Gotcha.
Yes.
Okay. So it's thanks to you, the Klein Oak High
partially.
School Band.
The Klein Oak High School Orchestra, full orchestra.
Brother.
But anyway, we went, and at the time I was dating a percussionist, and so
I was right.
No, and so they were all like at I think it was probably the Innovative Percussion booth or whatever.
I was right.
And they, all bought sticks. And I was like, I'm going to buy sticks and a drum pad because, I guess I knew that I had percussion methods coming up, and it was my freshman year or whatever.
I
So,
see.
yeah, I guess it was Innovative Percussion.
Nerd alert.
Now that I think about it.
Okay. So I was right. Once again. What are your thoughts on sparkling water, specifically Topo Chico?
The best.
Which one?
I really like with the twist of lime, but I'm also a fan of just plain old Topo Chico.
Basic mineral
Yeah.
water. Now, I don't ask this question anymore. I don't want to lead the witnesses, but I feel like whenever I talk to you every once in a while, you have just returned from decompressing at an establishment that serves what they consider to be Tex-Mex food in the Austin area. Can you explain the infatuation with Chuy's, please?
I knew that you were going to ask about this, and I have rehearsed my answer.
All right. Go ahead, Kat. The floor is yours.
Chewy serves a purpose, Daniel.
for basic white girls out of Houston.
It's okay. So they have really good queso. Can you argue that?
Yes, I can.
You don't enjoy their queso.
I don't enjoy anything there, but
Where do you like queso from?
I don't like anything from Chuy's.
Tell me where you enjoy queso from. If you have such a strong opinion about Chuy's queso.
My opinion isn't specific.
No, Daniel.
Wait, are you trying to call me? Okay, I would gladly have chili con queso, if you will, for Morelias. That's significantly better. You can get that in Round Rock or Pflugerville. Okay. All right. You can get them at like a little bit of the small shacks kind of thing. There was a Maria's right around here. Enchiladas y Mas, which Rip just closed. I read about it today, which is off of Anderson. All right. El Rincon, which is in Pflugerville. Do you want me to go on or not?
I mean.
Okay. All right.
I'll check them out. Anyway, it serves a purpose, and it's nearby.
Okay.
It tastes pretty good. It does.
Okay.
If I wanted authentic Mexican food, I would go to an authentic Mexican food restaurant. But
sure, why don't you just go to Chipotle?
If I want some good old Tex-Mex, I'm gonna go to Chuy's. They have good drinks too.
I will allow anyone to say the drinks thing there.
They're very
the
Tito's cherry limeade drink.
I just feel like if you're going to if you, meaning anybody, is going to go to Chuy's, and that includes you, Richard Kearns, if you're like, I'm going to go to Chuy's to eat, you might as well just literally go to Taco Cabana. Now you can't drink at Taco. You can get the margaritas, but
I don't like Taco.
That's how I feel the food is on par. Like
No.
it's I would yes, that's right. Oh God, come on. Chewy's is a fast food Tex-Mex restaurant in a brick and mortar house of a building.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So yeah,
I mean, we're agreeing what it is, and it serves a purpose.
it's the Fazoli's of Tex-Mex.
Oh.
Yeah, take that Fazoli's. Take
Okay.
that Chewy's.
Whatever.
Anyway, all right.
It's good.
I'm done defending myself here. It's my podcast.
Not anymore.
What?
I took it over.
Did you?
So Daniel.
Oh, you're interviewing me now. Are you sure about that? Are you sure you want to do that? All right, Katherine, you knew this question was coming. It's the one question that everybody gets asked, and I'm sure you've prepped for it. I'm anxious to see what you have because I can't see through a TV screen. For the folks listening to us at home and nowhere else because they are smart and are socially isolating and not protesting because they're stupid, please describe in excruciating detail what shoes you are currently wearing.
Well, see, and this is kind of the sad part because I don't actually know if there's a fancy name for these or not, but
I wouldn't know. I can't see them.
they're my first pair of...
Not even going to take them off?
They're really hard to get off.
For those, right now, Kat is
Okay.
looking down off screen. Now I see her knee. Okay, I see a lace.
I'm going to take them off so that
All
you
right,
can
she's
see because you'll probably be
unlacing.
able to educate me a little bit. But these are actually my first pair of Jordans.
She's holding up a multiple colored Jordan 1.
Yes, it is very multicolored. It has some lime green and some purple and some
Talk closer to
yellow.
your microphone, please.
Some yellow on it and some orange. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a high top Air Jordan 1, and I don't know if there's any fancy name other than that. Could you tell me?
The nickname is the light bulb.
Got it.
Yeah, the Jordan 1 light bulb.
Well, that light bulb did not go off for me. Sorry.
You're pretty punny.
Okay.
How come I don't see this kind of humor in our social media through General Effect?
I'm trying to keep it professional, you know?
That's not me.
I know.
It's not my brand. So you're in Henry Middle School, Henry. It's LISD, Leander ISD, which many consider to be the preeminent school district in the country. I think Northside, Louisville ISD are all up there. But just in terms of how many schools, powerhouse middle schools and high schools come from that, it was just announced. I guess people put it on Facebook already. I mean, Leander High School, Vandergrift High School, both from LISD are invited to the Midwest Clinic.
And Styles.
Will you let me get to that?
Okay.
Styles Middle School is also invited to Midwest. 4 Points has played at Midwest. Cedar Park has won state marching and honor band. This is just, Leander and Vandergrift, this is like the epicenter, the hotbed of band. You came from a school district and an area, and then came to Leander, and you probably had some expectations or some stereotypes, misconceptions, etc., all that stuff. And for people outside, they may think as I say, the streets are paved with gold, and you walk into your money tree and you pull off, oh, there's a brand new, I'm going to say something that's incredibly, a buffet clarinet. We'll just take that off the tree and, something like that. I imagine it's not like that, right?
No, it's not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Leander is definitely a very different place. Coming from the Houston area, and then coming to, Cedar Park. I think that the coolest thing about Leander and what makes it so special is just there's so much collaboration throughout the district. Ever since I've, got here, and I was lucky enough to get hired at the same time as a bunch of other kind of younger people like, Zach and Kyle and Kendall and Caitlin and who else am I forgetting? I don't.
Corey came.
And Corey, yeah,
4
Corey
Points
got there the same,
after
and
a
so
few
did
years in Houston.
Christina Barrera.
I'm not familiar.
They
know
all got
everybody.
here at the same time, and so we all kind of hung out a lot, and it was cool to have other people to bounce ideas off of, and all that kind of stuff. But then just on the aside from that, I feel like there are a lot of people who are really willing to mentor and share their knowledge and their information with you, and always willing to lend a helping hand. So I think that's part of the reason that Leander is the way that it is.
So I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions that I'm sure a lot of people want to know.
Okay.
All right. And this may be the only episode he listens to, but that's okay. What's it like working with Robert Herrings?
It's a lot of fun, actually.
Actually,
It
you're
is.
implying that people would think it's not fun?
We definitely work really hard, and I think people might think that makes it not fun, but
We're gonna get to that in a
that's
minute.
part of the fun. I actually remember on the very first day that I went to Henry Middle School after I'd gotten hired. It was at the end of the school year, and I walked in, and one of the kids walked up to me. They're like, "You have to make sure Mr. Herrings doesn't get fired." And I was like, "Oh God, what did I get myself into?" Because, Robert is like crazy in the best way. Like he just, flies off the wall and says really funny things. But, Rachel Johnstone was the person who I was taking over for. And I guess she kind of had a radar developed that whenever he was going to say something that maybe he shouldn't say, should give him a Robert. And then he would, stop.
I see.
So
how's that working out for you?
Mine is definitely developing. My first year, I usually kind of just laughed because it was so funny.
So you're just like one of the kids.
Yeah, but
I see.
Yeah, I'm getting better at seeing it coming. He's so fast. Sometimes things just get by me.
And you're kind of slow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so let's dive deep into Robert Herrings, just because we could obviously have him on the podcast if he wanted to ever come on here, but let's just ask from an outsider's perspective. Arguably the greatest current active middle school band director. Some would say doesn't matter if it's middle school or high school. Educator in the country/world. Would you agree? I think that he is definitely one of the best. So what is he doing? What's the secret sauce here? Like, let's tell everyone how he's so good. The thing is, I don't think that there is like a secret sauce. I guess there kind of is, but we're not doing anything any different than anyone else is doing. We just show the kids that we care a lot, and they know that we like care about them more than anything, more than like how well they play their instruments or anything like that. Mm-hmm. Like they first know that we like adore them and they mean the world to us. And then on top of that, like once they understand that, they know that whatever we ask of them, we're not doing it because it's, something that's going to be worthless or not, helpful to them. So whenever we ask them to do something or have really high standards for something, they just kind of follow along because they trust that we're trying to do the best thing for them. So. Right. Katie Van Doren, when she was on here, she talked about mentorship, head directors mentoring their first year teachers, their new teachers, and how it's insanely important that mentorship in the school as well as the district should happen and for free. What is it like? What is Robert like as a mentor, as a peer and a colleague? Because I'm sure he wears a lot of hats, different hats. He's your boss, he's your close friend, he's your confidant, but sometimes he's got to slap your wrist, right?
Yeah, I mean, one of the best and most unique things about Robert, I think, is that he is probably the most honest person I've ever met in my entire life. Like, wow. He's not afraid to tell you what he's thinking, no matter like whether you're happy to hear it or not. So, I mean, that's one of the best things about Robert, I think, is just how willing he is to, he's like, hey, I don't think this is working. Like, let's figure out how this is going to work better. Mm-hmm. And so, I mean, he's always really open. If he thinks that something isn't working super well, then he'll let me know and we'll come up with a plan to adjust and, get back on target for where he thinks it should be. Because he's been doing this for 17 years now, I think. And, wow. Whenever he sees something not going the way that it should, especially with his history of, success, yeah. I'm going to trust that I need to be going that pathway. Sure.
When I was talking to Jason DeMaselli, he talked about how his first year was with Phil Geiger from Westfield High School, one of the 4 horsemen of band directors in the entire world, Houston area. So there you go, giving you your H-Town love on there. How intimidating can it be for a first-year teacher, second-year teacher now, when you go in and you're either talking to Robert or you're giving your opinion, or honestly, you're rehearsing and Robert walks in and just watches you and starts listening?
I honestly don't know if I feel super intimidated by Robert. Like I really do feel like we have a really good relationship, friendship wise and working wise.
Is he behind the camera right now? Behind the computer, holding up cue cards? He's got like his finger to his neck going, say something nice. It's like Michael Scott. He's got his hand. It's like, I'll kill you.
Yeah, no, like I really, Robert is one of my like closest friends, honestly. And something else that I think that we have really special at Henry is just that we're all so involved in each other's classes and all those kinds of things. So, whenever I'm in my band and he walks out and he starts talking to my band, I'm like, yes, like, and so, I mean, I just, I'm always happy to get any kind of information from him because, I've been doing this for 2 years and he's been doing it for a lot longer than that, and he's a really smart guy. So
does he wear his honor band medals around his neck? I would. I'd wear 4 of them or 3 of them?
3.
I'd wear all 3. The minute you do something wrong, I would just hold it up and go like, yeah.
Yeah. No, he does not.
What about his Midwest plaques? Does he do that too?
No.
Oh, I would totally do that. But that's the kind of person I am.
I mean, we have them around the front of the band hall. So.
I'd put it like right in front of my desk where it says the buck stops here. And so you come up and go, yes, Katherine, what bad things do you have to say about my program? And then you just kind of point. No. I guess he's just a little more humble than I am.
Yeah.
Humble brag. Okay, now you are in your second year and you have not experienced a normal year of teaching ever. So let's talk about year 1. You said you were hired as the second assistant, and you currently are, as of right now, you will end the semester as the second assistant, correct?
No, I was hired as the second? I was the third director.
That's what. Yeah. Sorry, you people. Some people are like, well, I was the first assistant. I'm like, okay, third director, which means you were given the third band.
Yes.
And you did that. Now, partway through, your associate experienced some medical issues, which caused him unable to actually take his band to UIL. So you not only took your band, you took his band. Took 2 bands at UIL. Also, there was a leave of absence for medical reasons, also from Robert. So there was a time when you were, in all honesty, the band director for the Henry Middle School Band first year out, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk about taking 2 bands to UIL first of all. What was the program for your third band?
Third band we played. No, shoot, I just lost what the march was called.
Oh, okay. You can literally tell me anything and I'll believe it. Just say it was by Brahmin de Balmages and I'll be like, of course it was.
We played Summit Fanfare.
Is that Willie Owens?
Yes.
Oh my God, I just pulled out like one of the only other name I know is Jack Wild, so.
Summit Fanfare and, shoot, what is it?
I don't know.
I totally forgot what it's called.
Oh my gosh. How are you just, not prepared for this?
I don't review what pieces I played last year before I came on this.
This is for UIL.
I'm trying to think what it was called. It's Little Brazil Suite, which I like. I know a lot of people are a huge fan of Little Brazil Suite, but at the end of that, I was done with Little Brazil
Who
Suite.
wrote that piece?
I can't remember.
I don't know either. And then what else?
What was the march called?
You said Summit Fanfare. Oh, that's not the march.
That's not the march.
Oh.
I can't remember what the march
March
was.
the Belgian
now.
Paratroopers.
No.
Valdres.
Yeah, totally.
Valdres?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the third band.
So you did that one, and what were your ratings for the third band?
I actually got a 1.
Did you get a dirty 1?
Yeah, I got a dirty 1 on stage.
Is that like the first time in Henry Band history?
I don't.
It could be.
I don't know.
It is now.
Whatever, but
And straight 1s on Sightreading?
Yes.
Okay. And then you took the second band. So what was that like? How ahead of time, or how much prep time did you have before you were like, oh God, I got to take the second band because your associate, he like broke his arm, right?
Yeah.
Or something.
Andrew
conducting
like,
arm.
Yeah, he like shut his arm.
I don't mean to laugh at that, but
No, he had an accident with a ladder and it broke some parts of his hand. So, yeah. So,
and what was his program? Oh, sorry, I forgot I asked you the question of the time. Go ahead, timeline. The timeline, yeah.
So I think that was about a month before UIL happened.
It wasn't the day before.
No, it was not. So, and whenever that happened, he had to be out for like 1 or 2 weeks, just because like you can't be on extreme pain medication and teach children. So he was out for a little bit, and I took over about a month before UIL.
You remember that program?
I'm trying to think now. We played España Cani, Accolade, and I'm trying to think what the third one was. I can't remember now.
What's interesting about all these names is they don't fit the middle school band generator. Like color, land, something like Red Hill Saga or something like that. Green Valley March. It's like that. So I guess that's the kind of literature you play at Henry Middle School, right?
I try to give them some things that they'll enjoy and grow from.
Sure. So what was it like being the head band director at Henry Middle School sometimes?
I don't know if it was necessarily being the head band director, but
there were times you were the only one physically there all day, right?
Yes, there was I think it was like 5 or 6 days or so.
And that was in the fall, right?
Yes.
So you still had your baby giraffe legs under you, right?
Yeah, that was interesting. But I mean, it was a really, really good growing experience for me. It made me have to grow really, really fast and just have to figure it out. Like, which I think is like the most important thing that I learned in my first year of teaching. Is just like, sometimes things are going to happen and you're just going to have to figure it out and keep on teaching because there are kids that are waiting on you.
Right.
So.
Isn't it? It's like that meme, like you're on the merry-go-round and it's going really fast and it's on fire. You're on fire. Everything's on fire. I mean, that's kind of like what it was, huh?
Yeah, pretty much.
But you survived.
I did survive.
As far as we know.
Yes.
You survived that year. Okay. So then this past year, now you were directing the second band, the second of 3. Do you remember what your UIL program would have been had you had it?
This year, we were going to play. Hold on. Now that as soon as you ask me these questions, of course, it leaves my mind.
How long did you know you were going to be on this podcast?
Well, and see, we actually changed our program.
Oh, boy.
We were going to play...
During quarantine, you're like, let's just change it.
No, well, we were going to play... the plan was to play Variations on Scarborough Fair.
Oh.
And then we played Our Kingsland Spring and March of the Buccaneers.
Oh, yes.
So...
Brazoswood Buccaneers, yes.
Sure. So we were going to play... Variations, and that ended up being a little bit much for my band. Just like woodwind wise, some of the technique just ended up being a lot. So we actually made a call to switch it, and we did Moscow, 1941.
Ah, I've heard of that piece.
Yeah,
and
they loved
that
it.
Country as well.
Yes,
I see. Okay, so do you remember? Are you keeping track? When's the last time you physically saw your band? It's before spring break.
I don't know how many days it's been now. I guess it's been probably at least 5 or 6 weeks. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, at least 5. Yeah.
That's a long time.
Yeah, it has been a long time.
So it's interesting because you develop as a youngster a little bit later in life, right? Not when you're 12, 13, 14. What is mobile virtual teaching like for 6th, 7th, and 8th grade kids? It doesn't even matter what school you're at. Like, you're dealing with the craziest age group of anybody, especially boys. I can tell you that. So what's it like with those kids?
I mean, it's definitely a challenge, I would say. I think that we're all trying to, we all just decided we were going to figure out how we were going to make this work and just, do our best with that. So we are doing a lot of kind of recording projects. We initially looked at what a lot of people were doing with trying to do the online rehearsals and stuff like that. But once we kind of figured out that we weren't going to be doing any UIL or really seeing the bands at all ever again. Well, I mean, this year. We kind of dropped that idea and we just started focusing on what was going to be coming up for them, which was solo and ensemble and auditions at the end of the year. So right now, what we're doing is in the morning, we're doing office hours and the kids sign up for a slot. And so they, hop onto the Zoom and get help on their solos or their scales for 15 minutes each, whenever they want to. I mean, they just sign up for when they want to. And we do that for the first half of the day. And then the second half of the day, we are doing mostly just staff things, trying to figure out how we're going to test 6th graders.
Yeah.
And place them into classes and stuff like that.
I guess that's something. Why would I think of that? I don't have to worry about that. Middle school band is, I haven't been there in a long time, so I'm just going to pretend I remember what it was like in middle school band. When you join 6th grade band, there are those kids that join because they want to play band, for whatever reason. But there are also those kids that join band for the social aspect. How are you, and you and Robert and Andrew or whatever, how are y'all keeping that aspect going? Because they don't go to a band hall, they don't hang with the kids, they're not doing, Beach Within Reach or any of these Schlitterbahn things that you in middle school go,
the trips.
It's zero social interaction in any capacity. And so how do you keep that kind of thing going? And are you maybe personally concerned about any potential drop off in band membership because maybe the kids can go I don't really need band. And you're not there to harp on them every day to stay in band. And, whether we start online or in person in August, there could be, I'm not saying there is, but there could be a drop off. So how do you keep that motivation going? And is there a concern about numbers dropping?
What I've been trying to, what we kind of agreed at the beginning was that the most important thing isn't, they're not going to keep growing a ton. We're going to do as much as we possibly can to get them new information and try to get them understanding new ideas and whatever. But what we decided was the most important thing is that they just still felt like band was a place for them to come where they belong and they, are a part of something. So each week we have a Zoom meeting with our beginner, like each individual beginner class. So like I have my flute class and my double reeds and the clarinets, and we see them once a week. And, the start of the meeting is always like information. We're like, hey, your assignments for this week are blah, 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 blah. And then, we usually finish giving our information. Then we just like unmute them and we're like, what do you guys want to talk about? And the beginner classes are a lot more quiet and shy, especially like my flute class is so shy, and they like just like stare at the camera and they're like, oh. And you're like, how you doing, buddy? And they're like, I'm good. And then they like kind of back away. But, so you try to come up with like, fun things to do with them. Like, they like their fun, like little things on Zoom where you can make them click, like it'll show yes or no on their screen or something. So you're like, so would you rather do this or this or this? And like some like fun games kind of things. But my favorite, what ends up being like an hour plus of the week, is whenever I meet with my band every week. And so I actually met with them earlier today. And so, like the other classes, we always start with information. And then we unmute and we just talk about whatever we want to do. And they are like the weirdest kids in the entire world. Like I found out about so many pets and so many like just strange hobbies that they have through all these Zooms, that they'll like walk around the house. They're like, look, this is my 32 plants that I take care of. And like, this is my, bearded dragon. And like, they like sit there on their, screen with their bearded dragon laying on their chest. And I don't know, they just talk about whatever they want to talk about and whatever. And so, I mean, we just try to, and then I guess the other thing that I've really been doing is every day whenever I post because we post like a reminder of what their assignment is in Google Classroom every day. And I've been doing a question of the day. And so, sometimes it's serious things like, I don't know, where do you want to go? Or like, what do you want to be when you grow up or something like that. And then some days it's like, would you rather walk like a crab or walk like a bear for the rest of your life? Or like, I don't know. It just.
Do you ask them, did Carol Baskin kill her husband?
No.
You don't ask them that?
I try to stay away from the things that could be questionable.
I see. So have you been recruiting them to vote me out on the sneaker showdown?
I did actually ask them to vote. So.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they actually, they're really into my shoe thing. That's the thing.
Oh, that's good. It's good to know that something around you's happy with your shoe game.
They are. Well, I mean, I have Flex Friday, so every Friday I would come into class with and I would preface this like in the 6th grade classes. I'd walk in and be like, just so you know, I have this thing that's really important to me, and it might not be important to you, but I need you to pretend like it's important to you. So I remember like the first week of this year, after I explained this, my flute class, I walk in and I think I was wearing my night joggers, the Jet Set ones. And they like kind of like glow whenever you turn off the lights. Yeah. And so I like walked in and was like, guys, I got these shoes and I love them so much. And they're like, wow, those are the coolest shoes. And they were like, yeah, you could tell they weren't super into it, but they support my habit.
Oh, it's good. It's good. See, it's good. Yeah. I think it's wonderful for people to support our shoe habits.
Yeah. My favorite one I've done so far today, my question was actually that they could ask me any questions that they wanted to.
It was an AMA.
Yeah. So they've been blowing up the Google Classroom all day, asking me random things like in and out or Whataburger, or why did you want to be a band director? And I'm like, wow.
Yeah. Why do you want to be a band director?
Do you want me to actually answer that?
No, not right now.
Okay.
No. Okay. So I'm going through your Facebook as one normally does. Thank you for liking the Sketchbook Podcast page.
You're welcome.
Thank you for liking General Effect. You should. I mean, that's obvious. I don't understand. Why do you like Van Doren music?
He's a good guy.
Box 6?
Yeah.
You don't like Montoya music?
You don't have a Facebook page for that.
Oh, how do you know that?
Haven't you claimed that before?
Yeah, but I mean, did you look for it?
No.
Did you used to like it when it was up?
Probably.
I guess. I don't know.
I thought I was supposed to be your biggest fan or something, so you probably thought that I did.
I don't know how to feel about that. That's messed up. Well, I'm glad that you like almost every University of Houston-based Facebook page.
Well.
Even like the Micro Marching League. How many micro marching shows have you created?
I think I was interested in it at one point during college. I was like, oh, this would be fun to mess around with. And I don't know if I ever did, actually.
You didn't? Oh, well, you still want to be a drill rider when you grow up or what?
No.
Yeah, it's not a good time to be a drill rider right now. It's just the way things are going. The Lumineers. All right. Fun, the band. Imagine Dragons, really, Kat? Do you listen to that while you're eating at Chewy's?
I'm pretty sure the last time I liked a band on Facebook was probably in high school.
Well,
So
you still have them.
These
on
are
there.
all my high school things.
Wow. Catholic memes. Are you a cultural Catholic? Much like I have ascribed, or much way Katie describes Evan as a cultural Jew?
I think I've definitely become more cultural over time.
What did you give up anything for Lent?
I gave up coffee.
What was that like?
It was pretty sad.
What do you mean by that?
It was just sad. Like, I'd wake up in the morning and I'd be like, oh, I'd love to go get some coffee. Oh. And like for a while it was funny because Kyle would, start making coffee and he'd like put a cup towards me and I'd be like, I'm not drinking coffee. He'd be like, dang it, I forgot. So there were, but now I can have coffee in the morning.
That's good to know. That's good to know. All right. So I'm sure a lot of people want to know this type of question, okay? Because you work at Henry Middle School and you alluded to the fact of working hard. So let's find out how hard you actually work. We can't quantify this, but according to the Henry Middle School website, the regular bell schedule, first period starts at 8:55 a.m. and then eighth period gets out at 4:05. So 8:55 to 4:05 p.m. What time do you get there in the mornings on the daily?
Get there by 7
a.m. Yes. And then what? Do you have a sectional?
Yes.
And what time does that normally start?
The sectional starts at 7:30 and goes till 8:45.
Okay, so an hour and 15-minute sectional.
Yes.
Before school every day, not for the same kid, but is it every day?
For a different sectional,
okay.
A different section.
And then after school gets out at 4:05. Do you have sectionals after school?
Yes, sectionals start at 4:15 and go till 5:30.
4:15 to 5:30. So you have stuff going on from 7:30 to 5:30, right? That you have planned. You say you get there at 7 a.m.
to open the band hall.
When do you normally leave the band hall?
It varies.
Let's be real honest on this one, Kat. You did swear under oath before we started recording.
I would say the average is probably 7:15, 7:30.
Okay. So let's just say 12-hour days. You average 12-hour days, 5 days a week. And then this is not a Henry Middle School exclusive, but then there's all kinds of stuff on Saturdays, right? Whether it's region band, region judging, clinicking, band and within reach, band trips, it's a 6-day-a-week job to be super ultra competitive. So let me ask you this question. If I want to be as good as Henry Middle School, do I need to spend 12 hours a day at my band hall?
I don't think that everyone needs to do it that way. That's just the way that we kind of work. Mm-hmm. And well, it's actually very interesting. I was thinking about this because I knew you were going to
I think you work too hard.
Get on to me about this. I know.
You work too long and too hard.
I don't think that.
Well.
I was actually Robert Citation has put together this seminar for all the student teachers in Leander. So like all the people that were student teaching at the time that Corona struck. In Leander, and actually some people from Round Rock too. But he put together the seminar and it was really, really cool. But he invited me to come speak on it 2 weeks ago, I guess. And we were talking, it was supposed to be like the perspective of, third directors, like telling them what they're going to be kind of experiencing coming in. And I think it was either Katie or Robert that said it. But, they were talking about how this is kind of the time when, like, I think it was Katie, because she said, she knows how Robert feels about long work hours and all that kind of stuff. She said, well, like, I know how you feel about this, Robert, but, now is the time whenever, like, this is our time that we should be grinding it out and, like, working our butts off. Because, we don't have a family to go home to. And maybe, like, we have significant others, I guess, and some of us. And, but now's the time whenever you have to work really hard because this is whenever you're figuring stuff out. So, like, eventually, like, hopefully I won't be spending that long, at the band hall. But now's the time I feel like is the most appropriate to spend a long time, doing all these things and getting it figured out now, because we just are behind. Like, we don't know as much as everybody else because we haven't been doing the thing. So to do a little bit more of the thing to get on track.
I can understand that. Are you the only one there for 12 hours though?
No.
So going off of Katie's thing, if you're older and more experienced, you won't need to be there 12 hours. Correct.
Robert works too hard.
So Robert works too hard. You don't work too hard.
And it's not even necessarily that he works too hard. I think it's just Robert isn't he's a successful guy and, a lot of people want help from him. And he's one of the most willing people to give help. Like he's always in someone's band hall or, clinicking somewhere or any of those things. So, he just has his hands in so many different things and like, that's how he likes it. He loves band. more than anything. I think really like that's how he likes it, and he's willing to spend hours and hours and hours of his life constantly. I mean, like right now he's going crazy because I mean, he still is like the busiest person I know right now. Like he's on Zoom calls like almost any hour of the day.
Oh gosh,
like
that's awful.
I mean,
Zoom calls. I mean, not that he's doing it. Who loves marches more, Robert or Mike Howard?
I don't know. Robert likes marches a lot.
Who's better at them, Robert or Mike? They should have a march off.
Have you?
I haven't listened to the march yet.
No.
Oh, come Sunday?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I listened to it on the way over here.
Mike sent it to me yesterday before he sent out to all this stuff. Yes.
Oh.
It's fine.
It's good.
Yeah, I've heard like a dozen different versions of it.
Okay.
Yeah. Come on. Let me know when Mike sends me a recording of my music.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so speaking of Zoom calls, this is Brave New World, right? I am not affected much by what is going on in the world right now, mainly because this time of year, I am locked in my house, in my office, writing music. I do normally venture out for restaurants and for shopping. I can't do that now. So I basically have more time to actually create more music and stuff like that. So nothing is out of the ordinary for me. This is completely out of the ordinary for teachers, band directors, any teacher really. So I guess I want to know, and I'm hoping you'll like actually be really, really honest. Like, how is it doing band through Zoom and online only?
I mean, I think a lot of people are starting to be a little bit more open about it because at first everyone's like, "Oh, this is so great! I love it so much," and like it's just like band.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's not the same. Like this isn't what we signed up to do. Like we signed up to be around these kids all the time and make music and right now it's not even really. I mean, we're trying to help them learn how to make music on their own, like doing these solo things and scales and whatnot, but it's just different. And I'm not a huge fan of it. Like, I mean, if like for real, if this is what like band had to be for the rest of my life, I would not be able to do this. No, I really wouldn't. At this point, it's like just trying to do the best we can for our kids and, try to come out better from this on the other side. Mm-hmm. But
is it boring?
It's not boring, I guess. It's just like, I'm not a huge fan of sitting around and listening to recordings personally. So that's one of probably my least favorite part. Like I would rather just listen to someone in a room and give them immediate feedback, like we do whenever we have them in person. But,
right.
Now there's no way to do that. So it's just a lot of recordings and Zooms with poor microphone quality.
I would know what poor microphone quality is like. If you weren't doing band, and maybe now more than ever, that realization has popped in your head, what would you do, Katherine?
I don't know. I've kind of thought about that. Whenever I was in middle school, they make you choose your career whenever you're in sixth grade. So you're like, yeah, I know what I want for the rest of my life at this point. And at that point in my life, I had decided to be an architect.
What?
Yeah.
Are you good at math? I'm asking not because I don't think you are. I'm just curious.
I'm all right at it, I guess.
You're all right at it. Can you draw?
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So at that point in my life, I decided I wanted to be an architect, and I'd always, I said, one of my kids asked why I wanted to be a band director someday, but, I'd always kind of been interested in music and, I always wanted it to be a part of my life, but I never felt like I was like quite worthy of it. Cause in middle school, I was like first chair, right. Or whatever. And then I got to high school and I was like, I was in the top band, but I was never like first chair. I wasn't the best in the section or anything like that. So I never felt like I was exactly worthy, I guess, of holding the title of band director or whatever. So, I kind of continued chasing the architecture thing. I took architecture classes all the way through high school. Yeah, one of my designs won state.
You're a state champion?
Yeah,
state architecture champion?
Yes. So, and then one day my architecture teacher told me that, if I did architecture, I'd be sitting behind a computer for most of the rest of my life. And I was like, nope. So
the irony. The irony of that statement.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Now, I mean, we've really gotten into cooking a lot recently. I think it'd be fun to like be like a pastry chef somewhere, but of course that's kind of not a thing right now either. So,
Yep, can't do that either. You could.
I guess the most the job I'm kind of already into is like this social media thing.
Oh,
so
do you do more social media other than General Effect that I'm not aware of?
You are aware of the other one that I do, but yeah, I do it for Sassy too.
Oh, the leadership people.
Yes.
I see.
Yep. So
Wow.
I don't know. I don't know what if life had to continue as it is, where like we are just living in our caves for the rest of our lives. I don't know what I would do.
You could learn to code.
No.
No, you don't want to go to coding camp?
Nope.
That's what's du jour these days.
Nope.
Okay, well, I won't send you to the coding camp then.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I mean, don't want to be blamed for that either. How are you able to do F around a room through Zoom? Like, I mean, that's 45 minutes right there. How do you do that?
We don't.
What? How do y'all effectively breathe when y'all make him stand up and do the hand thing?
We actually, not on Zoom. We don't, because we haven't been doing full band rehearsals or whatever. But
God. You're gonna get your diploma taken away.
What do you mean? No, we we do breathing exercises typically in rehearsals. We actually had Ryan Johnstone over because he's the breathing master.
Is he?
Yes.
So he knows how to breathe?
Yes.
I'm glad to hear it.
Many people don't know how to breathe, but he does. So
wow. Okay.
Yeah. So he came out and taught our kids. We used like the tube, like the ball valves, and they do breathing exercises and they get dizzy and whatever. So.
Oh, okay. Well, I will understand that. I mean, does it break your heart not to do F around the room?
I can't wait until I can hear a concert F live and in person again.
Wow.
That's for sure.
I mean, that's the U of H school song.
Yes.
As we have said for some time.
Yeah.
So speaking of the H, there's a number of names of who's, and we're going to get to your mentors in a second. But I would like you to comment on a world famous video of one of your mentors, David Bertman, outside of a bowl game. Yes, I'd like you to discuss said video.
I wasn't there for this.
It was before your time?
Yeah, it was before my time, but it's kind of a legend at U of H in the music schools, I guess. But he is rehearsing an ensemble, which I'm assuming is the Spirit of Houston, and he cuts them off in his most like I don't know. You should try and go find it somehow, but he his whole body shakes whenever he cuts off the band, and then he looks over and he's like, "What are you doing? Fix your jeans!" And it's a classic. It's really not really funny unless you've seen it though, and if you know David Bertman, it's even better.
Sure.
It's not far off from how he acts in everyday life.
Now, because the timeline with David teaching is a little iffy. When you were there for 4 years, was he the director of the wind ensemble?
He was the director my freshman year. Mm-hmm. And then he went over to the administrative position.
Gotcha. And then he came back after you left?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe you ever stop to think you were the reason why he left?
I don't think so.
But you can't be sure.
He's pretty nice to me still, so I don't think that he...
I'm nice to my enemies. I'm nice to you, aren't I? So let's talk about your mentors, because there's some pretty heavy hitters that come from the H, which is why they have the reputation that they do and all that stuff. So obviously you were not old enough to have Eddie as one of your professors or Tom as one of your professors, but I have to imagine their legacy, and they're probably there all the time. Like you have John Benzer, you have Tom Bennett, Eddie Green, David Bertman, Marion West. Was she there still when you were doing that? Yeah. Let's talk about all your mentors that you had coming up through the H for the red and white.
Yeah, well, even before I got to U of H, I was one of I would say I'm very lucky to have actually had Eddie Green in my rehearsal. So even when I was in middle school and in high school, he was one of our clinicians. And so, I worked with him starting in 7th grade. He would come out and, clinic the band. And that was always, it was just really cool. And at that point in my life, I didn't realize how big of a deal it was, how big of a deal he was, I guess, really is what I should say. We just was like, oh, Mr. Green's coming. And, and Mr. Benzer would come out also. So I've known both of them since I was in 6th grade.
So you're almost destined to go to U of H at that
Pretty
point.
much. I mean, it was part of my bloodline at that point. Yeah, so I mean, and while I was at U of H, Eddie hasn't been a teacher there for some time, but he would still come out and clinic the bands. So, every week for a few years, we would still he didn't do it my junior and senior year, but he would come out and have a sectional with us every week still with like the college ensemble. So that was really cool. And then, Benzer was, part of my music education from the very start, and he, was there all the way through my college years. So, I think those are, well, and then we had Tom Bennett would come out whenever I was in high school, and Marion West was there. Her last year was my freshman year. So I was in her ensemble my first year at U of H. So that was a wild ride.
Yeah, you had a lot of folks that taught you, influenced you, all that good stuff. Hydro flask, yes or no?
Yes.
Oh, what kind? Or color, maybe. I don't know, size.
Mine is black, but it has like so many stickers on it now that you can't tell what color it is. We don't want to see color, I guess. I don't know. I'm sure that's a topic for another podcast. I guess so.
We'll talk about that. You already just said it, but what's the last piece of music you listened to, Kat?
I listened to Come Sunday.
Fanfare Summit? Is that the middle school version of Elmar Thomas's piece, Come Summit?
No, I listened to Come Sunday, as recorded by the Vandergrift High School.
Their Midwest submission.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, all right. That's good. That's good. What's interesting, I don't want to make it sound like you're pro UT because you're not. Even though you did attend a University of Texas football game as a guest of the UT Longhorn Band, field passes, and yet you are supporting the losing other side of the team. Doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, why would you do that?
Just gotta support your mans,
Really though? I mean,
yeah.
Through thick and thin, especially the thin. I mean, this part. I mean, they
Go Pokes.
The guy's got a lot of hair, but I mean, it doesn't look good. He should just shave it.
Who?
The coach.
Oh,
Coach Mullet. Okay. I will say I thought about this in the interest of fairness. When I did go to a U of H football game, Corey got me and my brother in. They were playing Texas State, but I did wear a U of H shirt though, because U of H was playing the music I wrote for their show. So
okay,
yeah.
Well, guess you're just a better man than I.
I would hope that I'm a better man than you. You know what Pearl Jam would say about that?
What would they say?
Can't find a better man.
I am, but I mean, I do enjoy it. Like, I'm not anti-UT by any means at all. I've been to, I think, almost every concert they've had this past
humble brag
season, because Ogechi usually gets us tickets. Thanks, Ogechi.
She's not listening.
She might be. You never know. Whatever. Yeah, but and I mean, that's one of our favorite things to do. So it's cool to get to be near that. Be part of that.
Yeah. So this question's always crazy to ask in these last 4 or 5 weeks. What's next for Katherine Willer? What's going on?
Yeah, I don't know. Just gonna keep on keeping on and staying inside and hoping that this will be over as soon as possible. Yeah, not really.
What TV shows you watching right now?
I've been watching Community.
Good for you.
It's really, really funny. I like it a lot.
Yeah. Are you on Team Annie or Team Britta? Because I'm on Team Annie. Oh,
they're about equal to me.
It's weird. I mean, you're blondish. So
I'm Team Abed.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Have you got to the episode where they played Dungeons and Dragons?
Yes.
Oh, that is one of the greatest episodes.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
I love that episode. It's fantastic. Yes. Yeah.
I like the Abed Troy bromance kind of thing. That's probably my favorite part of the show.
They're the modern day, what is it, JD and Turk, right? From Scrubs?
Yeah, I never really watched that very much.
You get away from, as soon as we're done with this, you open up whatever streaming device and start watching Scrubs. But you can stop with like Scrubs: The New Class, because that.
Yeah, I watched it. I mean, it was my uncle really liked that show, so I remember watching some of the episodes growing up. But I never, watched it straight through or anything like that.
Now, Kat, you're white. You're a young white girl, and you have a tattoo on your wrist. I'm going to assume that it says "Just Breathe," because sometimes when you're stressed out, you just need to remind yourself to just breathe. Is that correct?
That is incorrect. I have a tattoo on my wrist. It says "Be kind."
Oh, because you're not a kind person?
No. It's actually written in my grandmother's handwriting, because that's kind of my grandma's always like signed all of her cards, and whenever she says bye, she always says "Be kind." And my grandma's been and she's probably one of the most influential people in my life. She's just a really, really good person. So I think it's always to have a good reminder, and she's still alive. Like, luckily enough, I still have her, but whenever that she isn't there anymore, it'll be a nice remembrance, I think.
I always love when I ask these kinds whenever I ask tattoo questions, it always comes back with like Kendall's like, yeah, it's for my mom because she had cancer. And I was like, so I should stop asking questions about you people's tattoos, because my foot's always in my mouth, but it just kind of, the other one gets in there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So besides General Effect, which you run the social media for, anything else you want to plug today?
Well, I was going to plug General Effect.
Why don't you plug it? Let's talk about General Effect Restricted.
So have you guys ever heard of this brand called General Effect?
Go on. I haven't, Kat. Tell me more about it.
So it's the premier clothing brand.
It is.
For the marching arts.
That's correct.
It is the highest quality you will ever find.
I would agree with that also.
It's from the creative mind of Daniel Montoya Jr.
That, yeah. I don't know how to say it. I don't.
Okay.
Yes. I thought I had a consultant or three.
You do.
I have a brain trust.
Yeah, I mean the ideas come from you, I think, and then you ask us if they're good or not. And
the reality is, I'm a little older than like you and
Not
Josh went. Oh, okay. Of all the people that are like in the crew, who's probably the more mentally in tune with the kids? Me.
Okay.
Not like Jeremy.
Well, I mean.
I made a TikTok.
Okay.
I did. Everyone should go like and subscribe to. Wait, did you do that on TikTok? Do you like them and subscribe them?
I think you like it. I guess you can follow.
Yeah, I'm not going to make any others. I mean, really, that was it. Would took much time to make that one.
Yeah, no, my kids have asked, and I've said a hard no on that.
I see.
I don't want them to have their hands on that.
So, General Effect. What else? What else would they follow you on, or whatever?
I have a personal Instagram account, which is cat_Willer. If you'd like to follow that, I post a lot of pictures of food.
I really think if it was, you should call it "Where there's a Willer, there's a way."
No. Hard no.
Okay. And you have a big recording session tomorrow. The day this releases, we are also recording.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Round 2 of the sneaker showdown. I will let you.
I'm so glad that I made it through.
I thought you were going to be out.
Because like initially you're like, you're going to be the first one out, Kat. And I was like, no, I'm not. Like, what? And then the first day happened and I was like, oh my God, I'm going to be the first one out.
Embarrassing for you.
I was very shocked because I don't know if I just am alone on this, side of this, but I really like obnoxious shoes, and apparently obnoxious, bright yellow Yeezys are not everyone's cup of tea. So, I don't know. I was very shocked by that initial reaction to my shoe, but I'm feeling better now.
Well, and it's hard for me because pretty much everyone on there is part of the Montoya shoe tree.
Yes.
Right. And so seeing one of you leave is going to be like losing one of my shoes. Right. You just don't want that to happen, but that's inevitable. Mm-hmm. But I would say you're like the OG. You're patient number 1. If I'm patient 0, I mean, I gave you the virus. You're the first one.
Pretty much. It started like whenever I first started getting into shoes whenever I started working at Guardians, and you'd always show up with like, some new shoe or whatever. And I was like, I want to be cool. And
hey, you're almost there, Kat.
And so, that started with like, buying my first pair of Yeezys or whatever. And then like from there, it was just downhill.
I don't think it's downhill. I think your world is opened. You're welcome.
Yeah.
You're welcome. What's your closet look like? A lot of shoes?
A lot of shoes. I think I have...
Do you want to say this because your parents might be listening? Do you want them to know how? Oh, do they? Oh, okay, just want to make sure.
They know. I think I have at least 25 to 30 pairs of shoes, tennis shoes at this point.
What about professional work like lady high heel shoes?
I have a pretty large number of heels.
Oh, so really, again, I just want to clarify because I'm sure 2 people are listening. I'm not the one to blame for your whole shoe thing. It's just the sneaker part of it.
Well, yeah, I've always been a shopper. Like,
okay,
I've always enjoyed being well dressed and all. Like my senior year of high school, I was super obnoxious and I like refused to wear t-shirts. Like I literally like would not wear t-shirts. All I would wear were dresses.
Wait, what about marching band rehearsal?
I mean, but like I still like wore tank tops and like a cute, pair of shorts.
Are you the female version of what I was in college, where I refused to I wore like dress pants to marching rehearsal?
I wore heels every day. I did not wear dress pants to.
Well, no, but
I would wear heels walking around campus every day.
Did they think you were a teacher?
I don't think so. I don't know. I don't know.
The kids call you Karen. Was that a thing back then?
No.
Oh, okay. Karen Willer.
No.
Caddy. I see. So I guess the issue is I'm a different kind of pusher. You had a pusher in Houston, and then you found another one down here.
Yeah, it just expanded my shopping. What is that? Net, I guess. Sure. I don't know.
You know what? I'll say you're welcome. Okay. We'll just go with that. All right. So everyone should vote for you tomorrow on the sneaker shooting video. Correct?
Should not.
I'm confused.
Should not vote for me because they should vote for their least favorite shoe, and their favorite shoe is going to be mine.
Oh, okay. So it's the Survivor style. You vote who you want to eliminate to kick off the island. So, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, Katherine, it's been a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you.
You are an absolute delight.
It was an honor and a privilege to be invited.
You know what? It is your honor. Not to be confused with the middle school march. Your honor, or is it his honor?
His honor would.
His honor.
I don't know that there are words to it, but his honor is a very famous Sousa march.
It is. It is a march. It is. I know that march. I played that march once. I've played a lot of marches. Good. Yeah. I guess to sign off here, what was Robert going to play for UIL?
He was going to play Festivo, and it was going to be so it was so unbelievable. It came on my Spotify playlist the other day, like a recording of Festivo, not the kids playing it, but and it just I started crying because I was so sad I wasn't going to get to hear them play it. But they're going to do that. Sleep by Whitaker. What?
We're going to get a bunch of 7th and 8th graders to play Sleep.
It was really cool. And what was the march?
Symphonic Metamorphosis, probably.
No, I'm trying to remember what the march was now. It was good. Whatever it was. I can't remember now.
Well, I'm just going to assume.
Festivo.
I'm just going to assume he was going to open up with the march. I mean, what?
Oh, it was Valdres. Duh.
Oh, that's right. I was like, you're going to play Valdres?
Yeah, It was Valdres.
Yeah, because I sang that.
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to need a copyright strike on that one. So.
Yeah.
All right. Well, much like our YouTube videos, say goodbye, Kat.
Bye, Kat.
This episode of Sketchbook Podcast was recorded in Austin, Texas, and was edited and produced by me, Daniel Montoya Jr. Our logo is created by John Suh of Purpose Designs, and our music is provided by Epidemic Sound. If you enjoy Sketchbook, tell a friend about the show or share a link on social media. You can rate and review this show on Apple Podcasts, and you might find your review featured on a future episode. Got questions, comments, suggestions, or concerns? Email us at sketchbookpodcast@gmail.com. It too could be featured on a future episode. Be sure to follow us on Twitter @SketchbookPod and join the Sketchbook community on Facebook @SketchbookPodcast. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to Sketchbook Podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever fine podcasts are downloaded. Thanks for listening.